really feel like our homes are about telling our stories. The story of who we are, of where we come from, of what we've achieved, where we're going. I feel like your home should speak to who you are. I'm Cheryl Luckett, interior designer and owner of Dwell by Cheryl Interiors, a boutique residential interior design firm here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I come from a very close-knit family in coastal Mississippi. I grew up really close to my maternal grandparents. We lived about 15 minutes away from them, and we spent a lot of time with them. And honestly, those experiences in my childhood really inform how I approach design. And honestly, my style as well. I can remember being at my grandma's house and, she didn't have much, but she was really proud of what she did have. There were spaces in the home where we couldn't go, we couldn't play. They were the nice, really pretty spaces. And of course, they were my favorite. As a kid, we used to go to the country, to my great grandmother's house. We called her Biggie. And Biggie, her house was in the country. There was literally nothing to do. And somehow as a kid, that was okay. It was like summer camp. We made mud pies and we skimmed stones in the pond in the front, and we sat on the porch on the glider, and there was always home-cooked meals, and there was a plum tree, and everything just centered around home. And while it was super slow, somehow the experience was really, really rich. I come from a family of women who were all the hostess with the mostest. And I guess that's where I get it from. But they were really intentional about life at home, about using what they had and opening up their homes to other people. I recently found out that my great-great-grandmother, this would have been probably in the 1930s and 40s. She was the point person for ordering furniture or anything that would go in your home. She was the person that people in the community, in the country, in Mississippi, in the 30s and 40s, who looked like me, would have gone to say, hey, I need a new dining table, or hey, we need a twin-size bed. She was the person who would take the money, who would collect it and go to the post office and mail it off. And she was that person. You can imagine in that time, access would have been extremely limited. Maybe reading could have been an obstacle, but she was the person who was charged with helping people make their homes better. And, learning that shortly after I went full-time in design made me feel like I was a part of something way bigger than me. Like this was literally in my DNA. So whether I'm designing a product, a lamp or a piece of furniture or a room or a whole house, I'm really focused on how are the people going to live in these spaces. Function is also really important to me. I can think back to those times in the country at my great-grandmother's house, and there was a chiffle robe that she had where she stored all of the sewing notions and threads and fabrics, and it was just a cool piece of furniture. It was beautiful, but it was super functional. Think about the glider that we used to fight over who was gonna sit in on the front porch. And, we'd be there for hours. It was comfortable, it was relaxing, it was welcoming. That's a great furniture piece, but it also has a really great function. Things like the pie safe that was in the kitchen where all the sweets were. Those kinds of function-forward pieces of furniture are things that I love to include in my interior design projects. And of course, life has changed and it's much faster now, and maybe we don't need a chiffle robe or a pie safe, but what's the new version of that? How can we reach back and take some of those wonderful functional ideas from the past and bring them forward to how we live today. That's something that intrigues me, and it's something that I try and add into my projects and into product design. In interior design today, we get really caught up in getting it right. But I really feel like there are a million right answers, and what it all comes down to is creating a space that feels like you.